Tim he's done to be working with ones and nickel like that?
He just goes hard every day. He had a great offseason, and he just proves it, anytime he's on the field.
What does it say about a freshman that he's working with you guys at that position?
It just shows that the coaches trusted him, we trusted him, and that we expected him to make plays for us.
Jaylen, that nickel position has been so important to this defense over the last few years. Why is that so important to what you guys do defensively, and what does Jay do so well that fits?
It just allows us to play multiple defenses, and he's been doing a good job at understanding the playbook and just being able to execute.
Jaylen, it feels like you and Earl are just out there together a lot. How would you describe your relationship with Earl right now and how you guys work together?
Me and Earl, great friends, great teammates, and obviously like that off the field relationship just segues perfectly into meshing on the field.
Jaylen, you are one of the guys who took the leap from year 1 to year 2 in the starting lineup. What did Devin do that's so impressive this summer, spring, that makes you think that he's ready to be like a star of this defense in year 2?
I just seen like a different mindset type switch, from him in his head. And I seen the way he approaches every day. It's not the same, and I'm excited to see what he does as well.
Yeah, can you see his confidence, kind of exuding confidence? Did he have that last year at any point? Did you feel?
He didn't obviously like play a whole lot crazy, but now I see he has the reps. He has a lot of confidence, and you see it being displayed on the field.
How did you approach your relationship with Earl and like Terry Moore and stuff, knowing for example, Earl's going to come in and if he's as good as we think he is, he's going to play. You know what I mean? And did you foster that all through the spring and summer because y'all have to have a relationship?
Yeah, I just want to make him feel comfortable, make him feel at home, because obviously we're the ones that's on the field at the end of the day, so that relationship is really important.
What is your sense of what this defense is going to be about, Jaylen? It's kind of an obtuse question, but I mean, what's going to be a little bit different about it, do you think, compared to this time a year ago?
Obviously, different players, different opportunities. So I'm expecting different personalities out there. Obviously the standard is the standard regardless. So we're gonna see a lot of fast and physical football players out there.
Is anything different with Matt Patricia in year 2? Just that he's been here a year and you guys know him a little bit better. Does that feel any different at all? Does it feel the same as last year?
No, just as much as we're comfortable with him. He's even more comfortable as well. Obviously, he knows us a lot more. He knows our play styles and different ways that may help us execute plays.
Were you watching from the sidelines, Legend Bay #2, occasionally put on a little bit of a show? Obviously, he wasn't here the first 2 days because of disciplinary reasons. What stands out about him from what you've gotten to see of him over the last several months?
Just his speed, his burst, obviously, and he's very dynamic. With the way he's able to do things with the ball. So it's exciting to see that too. I would say there's a lot more responsibility on my plate. I would say obviously losing Caleb, that's a big person to lose out there. He was like the field general out there, and so I feel like taking that next step into that role, just being that guy that's able to make everybody feel comfortable on that field, that's a bigger responsibility.
How much of that is just like the positions they're putting you in versus just like Matt made a big deal about the communication that Caleb brought to the table. How much of it is just that versus hey, we're putting you in this spot versus this?
Yeah, so obviously, like spring ball, fall camp, it's just all about just hitting the reps at different spots, just being able to just be a multiple defense, like Coach Patricia says, and just being able to be more comfortable, in and out of different things.
How well would you say you know this defense, understand this defense at this point in year 2 with Matt Patricia with your experience now?
And obviously, I'm not a master, but I feel like I'm pretty comfortable with it, and I'm able to execute, time in and time out.
Why did you say obviously not a master? I thought maybe you were a master.
I'm chasing perfection, but it's at the end of the day, everything's not perfect. So, but at the end of the day, when it's time playing that game, that's what I expect. I feel like we work well together. We had 2 different play styles, but we're able to. We're both very versatile at safeties. So at the end of the day, we're gonna be able to play different things and show defense some different fits.
If you say you have 2 different play styles, how would you describe those 2 different play styles?
When I said that, I mean like we're both like fast, physical football players. We're both be able to play different things, but Earl's he's really fast. I know y'all see him out there. He's out there like. Wild guy, but he's controlled. He's a really good player. So, and me, I'm still putting my hair on fire as well, but it's a little different.
Jaylen, who's the biggest personality in the outside of Coach Guerrero?
Probably Earl. He's funny. Well, he said the safety room, but everybody know about Jermaine though.
Who is
He's out of.
How do those two stack up? I mean, Jermaine today was running out talking trash to the offensive line before practice even started.
I would say, Earl's not as much as a trash talker, but, Jermaine will talk a little, a little trash. Earl is just a funny guy. Like, he says a lot of funny things. It's the humor. It's a little different.
when you're locked in, whether that's on the field or off the field, who allows you to let your guard down? Who can get Jaylen McClain to crack?
Like, in terms of, like, my personality.
Who can make you to smile even when you're still locked in and as intense as you are?
I'll say, like, Coach Patricia, Like, he does a good job at making sure I'm not too tense, Lightens up the mood a little bit when he knows, like, things are a little wrong. Obviously, when you're locked in, like, sometimes it can be too overly locked in and, like, things are just, like, you just be in your head about a lot of things. I feel like Coach Patricia does a good job at not allowing that to happen.
What's been fall camp?
Dominick Kelly and his transition here, and what do you think he can bring?
Dom Kelly, he had a really good transition. Obviously, he's at another good program in Georgia, so I feel like the transition wasn't going to be too crazy. But obviously, he's a baller. I've seen him make a lot of plays, in the spring and so far in the summer, and I expect, a lot more down the road.
What feels similar? What feels different about fall camp number 2 with Matt Patricia compared to fall camp number 1 with Matt Patricia?
Fall camp 1 with Matt Patricia, I feel like I was doing a lot of learning, trying to figure out things and like how to be a better football player. But this year I feel like I also learned how to be a better football player, but I'm just in a different type of role, and I'm just trying to master, like be the master of the playbook and help other guys come along with me.
How have you seen Blaine Bradford adapt to the college game so far?
No, he's been good. He's obviously a bigger safety. He plays fast as well, and he's a downhill type player. I'm excited to see him do it.
The guys that took you in when you were coming in as a freshman?
When I was coming as a freshman, I would say Lathan Ransom, Davidson, Ignosin, those guys were like the older guys that brought me in when I first got here. Obviously, Caleb was here as well, and we grew that relationship down the line. But my first guy here is definitely Lathan IGB.
Did you feel like when this defense gets figured out when we get to the season, that it will kind of be like the main 11 guys who are playing most of the snaps, or do you think there could be an opportunity for different guys in different packages, different rotations to mix in?
I feel like we have a lot of depth, in this defense, and I'm excited to see different opportunities, different roles open up for people. So we'll see. I feel like we're comfortable. Obviously, like I said, new players equal new opportunities, and at the end of the day, the standard is the standard, and we got to live up to it. No, obviously it was the first day of pads, so we were excited to put our pads on somebody. So we was gonna come out the gate, we had an edge, so we wanted to show the offense that a little bit today.
Jaylen,
Last one.
Julian said that the quarterbacks will talk trash to him. Earl will talk a little bit trash to him, but you don't really talk trash to him right now.
I'm just not a trash talker, but when I talk to Julian, it's more like subtle, like little subtle little remarks that I was say to him that let him know like you're gonna feel me.
All right.